Hello friends, and welcome to a brand new camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S25 FE against the Samsung Galaxy A56. Right now we are recording at 4K at 30 frames per second. Tell me in the comment section below which one do you think has better colors and which one has a better audio.
As is tradition on our channel, let's start with a set of samples taken with the main cameras, but first let me explain the testing process. Each daylight photo is shot in auto mode with only scene optimizer enabled, and no edits afterwards. When people are in the frame, the S25 FE usually keeps more natural skin tones, while the A56 makes them brighter. I noticed this as soon as I got the A56, and unfortunately it hasn't been fixed yet. With landscapes, there's a slight difference in color tone. The S25 FE looks cooler, while the A56 leans warmer. Personally, in this case I prefer the FE, but the A56 isn't bad at all. The S25 FE also delivers more vibrant images, while the A56 looks a bit flat in comparison. At the end of the day, it all comes down to personal preference. Although the FE is ahead in most samples, we have to admit the A56 is still quite good, especially considering its price. In my opinion, the main camera of the A56 is one of the best among mid-range devices this year. Both devices are equipped with ultra-wide cameras, and in this sample they both carry over the color style of their main cameras. This is impressive, especially for the A56 considering its price. In some cases, like this one, the S25 FE handles darker areas better since they remain more visible compared to the A56, but to be fair the latter isn't far behind. Overall, for landscape shots, the ultra-wide camera of the S25 FE delivers slightly more accurate and pleasing colors. On the A56, some parts of the image look a bit oversaturated. With people in the frame, the difference becomes much clearer. On the FE the overall picture is a bit brighter, which isn't that important. What matters more to me is that my skin tone looks much more accurate compared to the A56. At 2x, both phones use their main cameras, and here the S25 FE performs much better than the A56. Once again, my skin tone looks more accurate on the FE, and my hair appears sharper. At 3x, the S25 FE switches to its telephoto lens, while the A56 continues with digital zoom. The difference in quality is huge, with the S25 FE clearly outperforming its cheaper rival in every way. In the next 2x sample, both look good, but this time I actually prefer the Galaxy A56, since the S25 FE shot seems a bit over-sharpened. I also like the A56's color tone more. At 3x, things change again. The A56 starts to lose detail, while the S25 FE looks much sharper. The 3x lens on the FE isn't among the best, but I'd still take an older telephoto sensor over having no telephoto at all. For portraits, I prefer the S25 FE because, just like before, my skin tone isn't accurate on the A56. In terms of edge detection, both perform similarly, but the FE handles skin tones much better. The Galaxy A56 also can't keep up with the S25 FE in this next portrait sample. These shots show that the gap between a mid-range and a premium phone is still clear. While the A56 is decent on its own, the S25 FE is simply better. The third camera on the A56 is a macro lens, while this is the closest shot I could take using the main camera of the S25 FE. Naturally, the A56 performs better here, but when using the 3x sensor on the S25 FE, it clearly outperforms the A56. The FE looks sharper with better colors, and in my opinion, a 3x sensor is far more useful than a macro camera. When it comes to the front cameras, both phones look good. My skin tone is accurate, and details are well preserved. The S25 FE has a slightly more vivid background, but overall both deliver great results. In the next sample, both continue to perform well. Earlier this year I praised the improved front camera of the Galaxy A56, and now I can confidently say the more expensive S25 FE also received a much-needed upgrade. Videos recorded with the main cameras have slightly different tones. The S25 FE appears a bit cooler, while the A56 provides warmer colors that feel more natural in certain scenes. In terms of stabilization, both phones perform very similarly, delivering smooth and steady footage even while moving. Similar results are seen when recording with their ultra-wide cameras. This time, the S25 FE looks a bit brighter overall, making the footage easier to see in darker areas, while the A56 retains slightly more detail. This isn't a major concern, especially since the S25 FE is newly launched and its performance could improve with future software updates. Moving to low light, from now on every picture is taken with night mode enabled. While they were close during the day, at night it's clear that the S25 FE performs better. On the S25 FE my face details are preserved, while on the A56 my face looks soft. The same happens in the next sample. The S25 FE keeps my facial features sharp, and even the background looks clearer. The A56 is fine, but not on the same level as the newer FE. With their main cameras, I immediately noticed that the S25 FE has slightly different colors and is a bit brighter. Both look great here, and it really comes down to personal preference. That's not always the case though, since in the next sample the A56 has the slightly brighter image. Again, both look good, and the A56 is especially impressive here considering its price. The S25 FE shows its strength in the following sample by taking a much better shot compared to the Galaxy A56. The latter struggles here, but to be fair it was a very difficult scene, and one miss doesn't take away its overall value. For the most part, their main cameras are very close, with the S25 FE pulling ahead in some cases, but the A56 still putting up a good fight. With their ultra-wide cameras, quality drops a bit, with the A56 taking a bigger hit. Still, I think these pictures remain acceptable overall. Just like with the main cameras, in this spot the A56 performs much worse compared to the S25 FE. Even so, the FE isn't as strong here either, and its shot doesn't look as refined as before. In certain scenes, the S25 FE is sharper with slightly better colors, while the A56 lacks detail. That's expected since the newer FE has a better chip and sensor. The Galaxy S25 FE is also brighter, and even though brighter doesn't always mean better, in this case it works well because everything is more visible without looking overexposed. At 2x, compared to daylight, both lose detail, and while the shots are somewhat usable, they aren't very sharp. At 3x, the A56 sticks with digital zoom, while the S25 FE switches to its telephoto lens. The A56 is brighter but looks washed out, while the S25 FE, though not amazing, still looks much better. Once again at 2x, both lose detail, but like before the S25 FE is slightly better, while the A56 ends up looking messy. At 3x, the gap becomes even more obvious. The FE isn't perfect, but it continues to be far superior to the A56. When it comes to portraits, both phones perform well. Like before, the S25 FE is a bit brighter, but I don't like how my dress looks in its shot. The A56 kept my dress color more accurately, while the S25 FE handled my hair better. So, what do you think? Which one is your winner? To me, both are great, but the S25 FE is better for zoom and some low-light shots. The A56 is almost as good, but it just can't quite keep up with the FE. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Thanks for watching, and for more content like this, please subscribe to my channel.